everyone, and welcome back to Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. I am so glad to be here with our very own Miss Dally Perez. Hey, Dally.
Hello, hello.
So we are going to continue the conversation of fund development and Giving Tuesday. You all know what time of the year it is, where we're getting ready to push out our fundraising campaigns, our Giving Tuesday campaigns, all while getting ready for the new year, depending on what fiscal year your nonprofit falls in. So we know we're entering that very busy holiday season. So we want to spend some time in particular on this segment talking more about Giving Tuesday. So before that, I do that, I'm going to hand it over to Dolly to share what we're doing right here in the group when it comes to Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, so most of you or some of you already, got the ball rolling. You already have those links for Giving Tuesday. So we want to show our love and our support within the group. So maybe you see it, maybe you haven't seen it, but we have pinned in the group at the top a post that says drop here your Giving Tuesday link. So I want you to go to the group, go for the feature post, and then look for that post and drop your link. We want to show support, we want to give you some love, and then we want to share it. If you find something that you care about or something that you can identify with, just grab that link and post it in your Facebook, in your public page or whatever. If you have email, and you can blast and support one another. So we believe in the power of community, and together, you know what, we can make an impact on this Giving Tuesday. So it doesn't matter if you have a nonprofit or not, just be a supporter. If you don't have a link, just be a supporter. Go to that post, search for those links, and then share it. Okay, go inside those links, share, give like, and maybe you can find a great deal inside there. I remember, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Like a couple of years ago, we did a silent auction, and I was able to buy some Legoland tickets for a very small price to go with my family. So you know what? Maybe you will find very, very good deals in there. So search for that post. It says drop here your Giving Tuesday link. If you have a link, put it in there. And if you don't, just go inside and search for those little perks that I know that you're gonna find there.
Yes. And you started talking about silent auctions. And one thing about Giving Tuesday, do it your way. There are so many different ways you're going to see Giving Tuesday done. Some organizations are going to be running campaigns. Some organizations may be doing a special silent auction during this time. Some organizations might just be spreading the word about what they do and how they do it. Find what works best for you and do Giving Tuesday your way. So let's talk, Dolly, really quick, a little bit about the silent auction component. Like, if you want to just give some pointers, if it when it comes to setting up, whether it's a mini silent auction campaign for your organization, using in-kind donations to be able to encourage others to give and give at a low cost. Personally, I love silent auctions. When a nonprofit says they have a silent auction or organization has a silent, I am going through the list. I am watching that list daily
Yes.
because it is such a great way, one, for the donor to win a prize, a tax deductible prize. Two, get something that may be at a lower cost than what it would have cost to purchase it from whichever vendor it might originally be. And sometimes I have seen bids where they go above the cost just because everyone just wants to give to the organization, and getting an item or tickets to something is just a bonus. So
Yes.
there's so many benefits to running silent auctions for your organization. So Dolly, I'm gonna hand it over to you if you want to give some tips when it comes to setting up, especially for if you're a organization starting out and you're trying to figure out how can I start doing silent auctions, and especially around this time. I don't know if you'll make it in time for this Giving Tuesday, but we'll still start talking about it.
Definitely. So today we're going to talk about two different ways of you can raise funds during this Giving Tuesday. One of them is for the silent auction. And like Lashina mentioned, if you have not done anything as it yet. It may be a little late for you for that particular fundraiser. However, we want you to prepare for next year. So in the silent auction, what is in kind? If you haven't heard that word before, that means that a company, they just give you something. Let's say Starbucks give you $100 gift card, and then you take that gift card, you put it in the silent auction, and you sell it for $50, let's say. That's an in-kind price. So companies give you something and you sell that in the silent auction. So what do you need to do? First, that you need to do is that you need to start writing down possible companies that you want to request those in kinds. So you got to make a list, very long list. Why? Because some of them, they're not going to give you anything. Some of them have a long wait list. Some of them already gave something and they don't have anything else. So the companies usually have a budget for that. Let's say they have, we're going to give away 100 gift card of $100 each, and when they're gone, they're gone. So that's why you got to do it in time. So first thing you're going to do, you're going to make that list. I want to request from Starbucks. I want to request from Walmart. I want to request, for example, we're in Florida, Orlando. I'm going to request some tickets for the Orlando Magic, for the parks, Universal, Legoland, all that. So you make that list, and then you're going to start months ahead, meaning January, February, March, because it takes time. Email to that person, and then if you need to make a contact, like call or something like that, because every company has a different way of doing things, and some of them will want to talk to you, some of them would just say just fill out this application and all that. So maybe you start with that list, you contact the company, send emails, and then you can hire a virtual assistant to do that,
or intern.
or intern.
Yes.
Yes. So that's another, let's say parenthesis in that. For example, we are in Florida, right? We have a lot of here in Orlando, Central Florida, a lot of universities, colleges that they do those interns. How do you call it? It's not festival. It's like an
Intern fairs.
pursuit.
Yeah. Yep.
Inter pursuit. So you go there as a nonprofit. You set a table, and then you got interns that you don't have to pay them, but they're pursuing to learn a little bit more, to work with you, and to support you in that role. So if you go to the colleges and then you learn when are those events, then you go there, you have your intern, and then you have that plan, and they can do great advice in that. So after that, you start getting, your in-kinds donations. And I want to mention a little bit when we did, because you know that we also have a nonprofit organization with is called Love Our Youth. We were dedicating to help youth and in their college path and all that with programs. So when we run it, I want to mention some of the items that we got, so you have an idea. Maybe you can add them to your list. So we have tickets for Crayola Experience. We have tickets for Wonderworks. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have a ball signed. We had from Publix. We have from the Florida Aquarium. We have from Costco, Legoland, Orlando Magics. We have Kelly's, Homemade Ice Cream, Starbucks, Wawa, Target. I mean, you name it. So, but it took, I don't know if you remember how many months, but it took months.
Yep.
We have someone that was, that was her task for the most part, like calling companies, sending emails. So then we got all those in kind, and then you keep building up, and then you start to creating that platform. So next step after create the list, make the contacts. Either you do it yourself, you have an intern, you hire a virtual assistant, then you start getting those in-kind packets that you have. Then what are you going to do? You're going to find a platform that you can then upload all that, so then you can share a link. And don't get scared in this part. If you're not that techy or something, most of these platforms are very easy to use, very friendly, they're very simple. So one platform is, for example, if you're a small nonprofit, you're starting, 32 auctions is one platform that you can use. There's a millions, I don't know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
platforms. So you uh, it depends on the size of your organization that they're going to give you for free, depending on the items that you put there. If you have a lot of items, then maybe they will ask for a fee and all that. So you evaluate which platform. Just Google, you know, action sites for nonprofits, and do your research, upload everything, and then just share. Then just share. How am I gonna search? How am I gonna share? Facebook, Instagram, emails. We have talked a lot of time that you gotta have your list, right? Your email list. So you are supposed to be building that. Your email list, your friends, your colleagues, anybody. Just share. And like Lasheena mentioned, this time of the year, even Tuesday, people are searching for those kind of links, because you can get a lot of stuff cheaper, right? And more affordable. So that's one of the ways that we can raise funds during Giving Tuesday. Again, if you have not done so, I think it's a little bit late for this time. However, you can start building that list, so you have in mind, okay, this is going to be my game plan for from the beginning of the year until summertime, August, September, and then you start building up. One other tip that I want to give you is expectation, right? So you start getting the word out. We're going to launch our silent auction. We have been getting really good donations. If you want to share something in specific, something that is very good, you can mention that there, like tickets for, I don't know, Universal. So be on the look, because we have tickets for Universal, and if you want to get it in a really good price, we're gonna launch our silent auction this day. Da da da. So then you create that expectation from the people, so people, okay, I need to be on the look for that link. So you do it before, and sometimes you can start like a countdown. 5 days until we go live. 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, one day, today is the day, and then you create that, and people then are expecting that. So that's a very good way, especially on social media, to create that, so people are aware and are looking for that link. Do you have anything else to add for the silent auction?
So with the silent auction, and Dolly mentioned this earlier, a lot of times some of the potential donors for your silent auctions are right around you. So looking around while you're walking, what are the stores you're seeing? What are some of the vendors that you shop with often? A lot of times there are organizations right around you that have giving arms or ways to give. And one of the things while you're creating your list, yes, you can go onto their website and kind of see, do they have some sort of giving form? A lot of companies, surprisingly, you have forms where you can request these type of in-kind gifts, especially when it comes to theme parks, hotels, your whether it's your intern or whoever's helping you support you on doing this can find these links online. Another tip I will give is, I'm very big on processes. So don't just write it down. Don't just throw this somewhere. When you're coming up with these lists, build it into something that every year you can go back and look at, in case you have to go back and make future acts to these companies. And on this list, you might have things such as their what's the company name, what's the company website, the link to make the request. Did they accept you, yes or no? You could do that in a simple spreadsheet. What I'm saying is, don't put it in a bunch of different places and the next year you got to start over from scratch. So make sure that you have a process for keeping up with those that you're requesting in-kind contributions from. So and yes, when we did the silent auction, that's how we did it. We had an intern at that time who was able to she was able to spend a lot of time on focusing on, and we actually had a list that we built over the years, so it was really easy for her to kind of go click on links, make requests, and then every other day we'll have some sort of email, something show up in the mail, somebody knocking at the door. We just saw things just coming that was going towards this silent auction. So of course you may not be able to set this up in time for this Giving Tuesday, and you don't necessarily have to do it on Giving Tuesday neither. But you can start thinking, is that something that I'll want to do next year? And I'm sure you all have seen silent auctions where they stand alone. They've been connected to events. You can kind of think about that. And if you're like, this time next year, I want to run a silent auction as a part of Giving Tuesday, go ahead and start planning that out now. You got 12 months to, so you can break it down into bite-sized pieces and get everything that you need in order to implement it. So this time next year, when we're talking about this, you'll be able to say, yep, did that, check.
Yes, definitely. And one of the things that is beneficial on doing that list is usually the people that give you, they will give you again because they already know you, they already know that you did the silent auction. So it's very good when you do the silent auction, like follow up with them, like this is what's the result, thank you for being part, thank you for giving, this is the link, this is the person that won the prize, all that, to follow up with them and saying thank you is very important, so that next year when you ask again, you just, they will more likely to give you again, versus if you don't do it, they were like, I don't know, did they did the silent auction, did they took it for themselves, so that's very, very important to follow up. So maybe you can build that into that same spreadsheet, like follow up, send an email, send a thank you card, like virtual digital thank you card and all that. So that's very, very great. So the second fundraising strategy that we want to give you today, that maybe you are in time to do it for this given Tuesday, if you have not done anything, that will be like a giving campaign. And we want to share with you what we did a couple years ago. And it's very important in this giving campaign. What you're seeing on the screen is for Secure Give Lively. So basically what you're going to build there is your profile. What do you do? What's your goal? In this case, we had a goal for 10,000 and we raised up $1,111 there. But it's very good and very specific in a strategy, as you see in the right side, that you put different kind of amounts and what it will be accomplished with that amount. So if you see 250, if you donate 250, this will help bring cheers to 15 families in our community and by sponsoring a holiday party and so forth. Because people then maybe they get identified with that and they want to donate that specific amount for that specific thing. So then what you're going to do is that you're going to, provide that because they donate for that. Or at the end, you will see that they can donate whatever amount they want, like custom amount, any amount they want to give, and that you can build up, like, I mean, in a couple maybe hours if you're not that techy, or if you have a friend that can help you to build it up if you're not that good with internet and all that. But it's basically your information, your nonprofit information, and be specific on, what this amount is gonna do this impact, this amount is gonna do this impact, and then a custom donation. And then it's just sharing, asking your friends to share, asking your family to share. Again, send it through email, send it through Instagram, send it through Facebook, LinkedIn, any social media that you have, then you can share it. And I think if you have not done anything still for this Giving Tuesday, that would be a great way to do it. And like Lasheena mentioned, it doesn't have to be only for Giving Tuesday. You can extend it to the end of the year for holiday and all that. You can make it like a winter fundraiser, right? But then what we suggest is that you take, I say like a train. There's a train going on. There's a movement going on always on in November for nonprofit, which is Giving Tuesday. So even though you keep it open until the end of the year, I suggest that you try to, put an emotion for this Giving Tuesday, at least that one, the giving campaign, which is just that, people just donating, and then, keep the ball rolling.
Yep. Love it. So we want to hear from you. What are some of your Giving Tuesday plans? We know we have the links for you to go ahead and drop that in. But if you're tuning in now and you're just brainstorming, what am I gonna do? Or you kind of know what you're gonna do this go around, just drop what is that in the chat. What does that look like for you? Are you doing some of these things that we're talking about? Are you doing a silent auction? Are you gonna do a campaign? One thing I will say, and some may disagree with me. I like using, if you are going to go the route of raising funds, I like using giving platforms outside of the Facebook house. And I know that we do a lot of giving and campaigns within Facebook. It's just I know sometimes the donations takes a while to reach organizations. So that's one of the reasons that I like using campaign links that's outside. So like using like a Give Lively where it's connected to your Stripe. So once the donations come in, you get it within like a week versus having to wait 30 days plus. I've heard different stories around what this looks like, and I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just saying, consider if you do have the ability to use an outside link. You might already have a platform you use on your website. You just got to build this special campaign into it. Consider doing that. Especially if you want to be able to get those funds to put into your program in a timely manner. So think about that when building. So yeah, we definitely want to hear from you. Some other tips that we have.
So before you go
Okay,
into
go
the other two,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
Because I've said this before.
Mhm.
Don't depend on just one platform. So
Mhm.
Facebook is a vehicle for to get to people, to network, to put your word out, and usually businesses use Facebook like a LinkedIn or something like that, like a professional platform. However, don't put all your bullets in Facebook. Take control of your own money, and then use different platforms for that. And for building your client base and all that is very important. If you have a Facebook group, for example, you should be asking for emails before entering to those Facebook groups, so then you have your database outside Facebook. Because if Facebook shuts down, then you lose everything. So I don't disagree with that. I think that you need to have different platforms that connects each other, and use Facebook as a vehicle to get to people, not as your database per se. Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I remember that. I think that was the year when we ran that last giving campaign. I remember, was it like Instagram, Facebook, everything went down for a day. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
Right.
So that
People went crazy. Yeah.
And that could happen, and especially how we know like technology and things are just trending up, down, and around. You do want to try to like capture those emails outside of using it on one social media platform. How do you get them outside, whether it's on your email list, or how do you get those that you're speaking to, your organization is speaking to, outside of social media, and have them be able to give in another manner or interact with you in another manner. So definitely consider doing that. So when it comes to Giving Tuesday, a couple tips is making sure that you plan ahead. I know we're cutting it close, and if you haven't started planning, it's okay. As we say every year, just do something. If you want some more tips on Giving Tuesday, if you go into the guide section of the group, you're going to see an area where we have past Giving Tuesday conversations. We go over the Giving Tuesday website, some toolkits that's available for you if you're kind of running close as to, okay, what am I going to do this year? We've shared some things with you, but also definitely check that out. Make sure you set clear goals as to what you want to accomplish this Giving Tuesday. It may be, the fundraising portion is great. We're going to do that, but really we want to build a robust marketing campaign that others know about us. Someone who did not know about us and what we do will now know our mission and know what we do, especially as the giving season does not stop at Giving Tuesday, especially as we get closer to the end of the year. So making sure that you set clear goals as to what do I expect, what does our organization expect to get out of these campaign and the efforts that we're putting forth this Giving Tuesday. Use this as an opportunity to tell your story. Talk about the impact that you've had throughout the years, those that you impacted, the types of programs that you ran. Do all of that. Share that during this time of year. We talked about using multi media channel platforms, not just using one. Going through email, going through Facebook, going through your LinkedIn, whatever those different ways of communicating that you have, running those campaigns through those different areas. So not just sticking to one. That way you can have a wider reach. Making sure that you engage your supporters. I'm trying to think of some other things. Uh, Thank you. Just saying thank you. And Debbie has shared this in the past. And again, you can see that past video in the guide section. She used this opportunity to be able to just say thank you. Mm-hmm. Have the board come together and do a whole thankathon where they're calling different individuals, past donors, and just saying thank you. And I think that is such a wonderful idea, because I'm not going to lie. During Giving Tuesday, my feeds are just like, I don't know where to start when it comes to giving. Like, it's just like all these different organizations I haven't heard of, which is absolutely awesome. But it does make it hard for the donor, if you haven't had a relationship before, mm-hmm. to be able to select, okay, you're the ones that I want to give to beforehand. Mm-hmm. So just saying thank you and letting your donors know, I'm here, we're here, we're continuing the mission, and we need you. You don't necessarily have to do the we need you part, but just saying thank you. Because you'll have plenty mm-hmm. of opportunity to do the we need you. But just saying thank you, expressing your mm-hmm. gratitude for what they've done and all the accomplishments you all were able to make, thanks to their willingness to give and support your organization mission.
Yeah, and this is a little bit off topic, but mm-hmm. just following what you were saying, if you have your database, then you can send quarterly newsletters or monthly or twice a year. And then if you're in contact with your database throughout the year, like, hey, if you send a quarterly, like this past month, these were the events that we did. This is where we've been. This is what we're working on. This is the program that we're working on. This is the training. If you mm-hmm. attend a training, anything that you did related to your nonprofit organization, you send it in the newsletter. So it's that saying like, hey, I'm here, I'm working. Thank you for being there. So that when it comes to time for asking, they already know who you are. Mm-hmm. They already know that you're working. They already know that you are going to use that money for good, because you've been working throughout the whole entire year. So that's why it's so important. And we are always like getting into, you have to have your list, build your list, build it. Anywhere you are, build the list. Mm-hmm. Don't forget about
there. You go. I think that's homework. Look, if you don't have a list, we like to talk about homework. So this is perfect segue. If you do not have a mailing list, go ahead and identify the platform that you're going to use. There's so many different platforms out there, and there's some because I know for us, our current donor management system includes another platform as a part of its membership. So there's some of that happening as well. But kind of identify your platform, where you're going to be keeping all of your emails and being able to share, messages with your different stakeholders. Identify what that looks like. And if you don't have a mailing list, definitely put a mailing list together. And you would thank us this time next year if you don't have one, for being able to build one. So I was just thinking, it's actually and Dally, I don't think you know this. This will make almost 2 years since we've been doing Nonprofit Enthusiast Live.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like this time of the year?
Yep. So this is the second year now.
Wow.
Yeah, we started it in November 2 years ago, and now here we are. So that, that's worth celebrating. Yay. Hey.
So that means that we have over 100 videos here.
Yes,
of the group.
We do. Yeah. Yep.
Over 100 videos mm-hmm. of information, of resources that you need to go to the guides.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. There's That's amazing. Lot of information. Wow. Yeah. A lot of information. So make sure that you check that out. And one way to keep us going, we always say, invite. Please take a moment. go up to the invite button, and you know we like to wait, so I'll wait here for a second. And invite at least 5 people. Can you just invite 5 people? And what that does is, one, it really grows the community, so that when we're asking questions, because you see the questions come through in the group, we're able to all kind of lean in on our experiences to help one another. And then also that allows us to continue to do videos and things like this. So please just take a moment and just click the invite button. Invite at least 5 people to the group, so that they can join in on the conversation. We're here weekly, and we want to keep doing this weekly for you all, but we need you all to continue to invite others to the conversation so that we can continue to learn and grow with each other and support one another in doing so. Awesome. So thank you all so much for joining us. Dally, thank you for taking some time with us today. We love it when you're on. So go out, go be great, build your mailing list. If you haven't started your Giving Tuesday campaign, okay, we challenge you to do something. And next year, you're going to build on it, and you're going to start planning way in advance, but just do something. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Bye.